There is an invariable trend that happens around this time of year, every year, but really culminates around Erev Rosh Hashanah and Erev Yom Kippur. I call it, and I'm very proud of this moniker that I came up with for this, I call it viral Teshuvah. Viral Teshuvah. It's a great name. So what viral Teshuvah is the use of social media to make a mass appeal of apology for the sake of going into the Yamim Noraim with a clean slate. And it usually takes the form of a Facebook post that says something along the lines of, if I have wronged you in the past year, please forgive me. And of course, because it's Facebook, there are like 70 people who respond to the post by either giving it a thumbs up or a heart or maybe like a care emoji. And I guess like the like means you're forgiven. And full disclosure, I am very guilty of this. I've done it many times in the past as well, but it's viral Teshuvah. And every time I see it, and every time I've done it, I can just see in my mind the rabbis of Yavna and Sura and Pumbedita, these great rabbinic academies of our history. I can just see them screaming into the banks of the rivers of Babylon, saying, "That's not how this is supposed to work." Okay, that was a little dramatic. I'm sorry. It's a dramatic time of year. It's Elul. But for real, there is something important here to talk about. So I want to use the time this morning to have a conversation about this. And first, two disclaimers that I need to put out there right away. First, this is an idea that isn't without precedent. We have this. This is built into our system. After all, one of the most beautiful and powerful services of the year is Kol Nidre, which is essentially, and this is a dramatic oversimplification, it's essentially a medieval attempt to do viral Teshuvah in the form of voiding all of our vows that we've made since last year. That's what it's for. Kol Nidre, which literally means all vows, is a liturgical formula to say, yikes, it's minutes before Yom Kippur, and I may have some loose ends out there that I need covered before this great cosmic judgment takes place. So we recite this formula 3 times for good measure to say, nope, none of those count, we're good. So that's disclaimer 1. There's precedent for this. Disclaimer 2 is that the intention behind the viral Teshuvah is actually quite laudable. The kavanah, the intention, is good, and it's quite beautiful. There's nothing wrong with asking everyone for forgiveness. Quite the opposite. It's exactly what we're supposed to be doing at this time of year, and really all year. But with those 2 disclaimers out of the way, let's talk about what the issue is here. So Kol Nidre is, for the most part, and especially in our day and age, a personal experience. It's between us and God. It doesn't release us from contracts or commitments. It is simply a blanket formula for covering the things that we may have forgotten about. The vows we didn't necessarily understand were vows. It's some good cover your tuchus theology between us and God. But Teshuvah, Bein Adam Lechavero, Teshuvah that is meant to fix wounds, to fix the harm, the pain between us and somebody that we hurt, somebody that we have wronged, is by its definition and at its essence meant to be done at the micro level. It's intimate. It's personal. Meaning that viral Teshuvah, despite the good intention behind it, misses the point of the work that we're supposed to be doing during this season of repentance. As the great Rabbi John F. Kennedy once said, "We choose to do Teshuvah not because it is easy, but because it is hard." I'm paraphrasing a little bit there, but I think it was about Teshuvah. Teshuvah is supposed to be hard. These approaching holidays are called the days of awe. Because if we walk down the theological path of Elul, this theological path of return, of deep introspection and self-analysis, then the inevitable outcome is moments of prayer and communal embrace that strip us down to pure emotion, to a pure presence of sitting with our honest and exposed hearts. And that, my friends, is terrifying. It's terrifying. And it's also the point. It's the whole point of everything that we are doing right now. If we aren't uncomfortable during these holy days, if we aren't having difficult conversations during these holy days, if we aren't finding ourselves with tears in our eyes or feeling great moments of relief or freedom and comfort, then we're missing the opportunity for something that is not only magical, we're missing the opportunity for healing, for getting closer to the people we love, and to our synagogue family, to our community, to ourselves. We're missing it. And so I'd like to make a suggestion for all of us. Let's start right now. And by right now, of course, I mean after Shabbos. Because here's what this can look like. And spoiler, you're not going to like it. Neither am I. Again, that's the point. We start by making a list of the teshuvah that we need to do. A physical list, a hard copy of a list of people we have wronged or hurt that we haven't yet fixed or repaired. And then one by one, we contact them. Text, phone, email, social media. At this point, it's okay because this contact is not for the teshuvah itself. It's for saying, can we meet? Can we get together? Over coffee, or for a walk, or just to sit down? And then, when we're there, in person if possible, when we're looking this person in the eye, that's when we say, I know I hurt you, and I'm sorry. And here's the kicker, and here's what makes it so terrifying. They might not forgive us. They might not. And then we're left there all vulnerable and uncomfortable. That's the point. That's the point. If we do this, if we tackle this the way that we're meant to, then these days of Elul, of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are brutal. They're really tough. But they're a treasure more valuable than we could ever imagine, because they bring us back to the source of it all, to our hearts in their purest form, to our souls ready to soar to whatever heights we allow them. They bring us back to the one who spoke and the world came into being. In Elul, it is said that the king is in the field. So rather than sitting in the safety of our homes or the safety of our phones or computers, of calling out to the sanctity of these days from our windows of protection, let's open the door and let's head into the field. Let's do the hard work. Let's do that really, really hard work. Because when we do, we'll realize that it has brought us to somewhere extraordinary. My friends, may these days wash over us and inspire us. And let me say right now that if I have wronged you or hurt you in any way, don't forgive me right now. Let me know. If I have wronged you or hurt you, let me know. So we can sit down, so we can have a cup of coffee or go for a walk, and so I can tell you how sorry I am. Please let me do that. Let's do this right. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I hope these days ahead are filled with meaning, with profundity, with introspection, and yes, with challenge, because that's what it's supposed to be. Our service will continue now with Musa.